Hi everybody, I am doing a little sound sample today with my Heritage H-530 with lower P90 pickups, and I'm going into my Henriksen bud. I have a bud head, so it's just a head unit, and then I have the Henriksen 12-inch speaker cabinet, and was just messing around because this thing has on the speaker has a tweeter that when you have it on, it gives, I guess, more highs and frequencies, and it's encouraged, like if you're playing more jazz, to turn that off. But I'm also using the same speaker to have my backing track, and when you have the tweeter off, it darkens everything, makes it sound muddy. So I have the tweeter on, and I'm just doing this to kind of show that even with that tweeter on, the bud still has a nice sound. It has a rich kind of, jazz sound, which it's known for. I am keeping my EQ on channel 2, which is what my guitar is plugged into. Pretty much everything's dialed in at noon. It's just right up the middle. Even my presence, no reverb. Because these are low wound, I think, pickups that they say boost the gain and keep the volume on the lower side, which is what I've done. The gain is maybe, I don't know, it's like maybe 8, and the volume is about 2. And no reverb. I have a Hall of Fame reverb on just a little bit on the spring setting, and I have Strymon El Capistan delay on, again, just a little bit, and then I just have a Dynacomp, just keep the compression sensitivity pretty low, and then the output a little high, using it more as like a boost pedal with a little bit of sustain. It beefens it up a little bit. So part of the reason I'm doing this is because I notice that a lot of times when I look this guitar up on YouTube and I'm listening to the sound samples, it sounds good, but I come from humbucker background, and like these pickups, like in the videos, it just sounds to me very thin. And I know they're single coils and they hum. You can even maybe hear it humming right now. But it just to me sounded real thin. But yet I know, like, there's old recordings of jazz musicians that I like playing single coils. Even Jim Hall, his first guitar that you see, it was like a black Les Paul with P90s in it, and he was able to sound like Jim Hall. He had like that rich sound. So just curious, like, how to make these guys sound more of like what I was looking for, not that very thin kind of bluesy or I don't know, sort of like the folk rock kind of, or alternative rock kind of sound. And so yeah, it can get a nice jazz sound. So what I'm going to do is do just 2 quick, I'm not going to play the whole song, I'm just going to do All the Things You Are. I found this cool background track on YouTube, All the Things You Are. It's from Jazz Double Standard Play-Alongs. It's actually a trio, and upright bass, drums, and piano. So it's kind of cool to just practice tunes and with real live musicians. So I'm going to play that through channel 1. And again, on channel 1, I have everything right up the middle also. I do have the presence down a little bit just because it gets a little too highs on the highs. No reverb. So I'm going to play a little with just the Henriksen, and then I'm going to pause and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to activate, I have a Joyo American pedal. A friend just gave that to me. It simulates sort of like an American, or like a Fender tube amp. Again, these pedals are very cheap, so it's not like great, but it's actually pretty cool. So on that, I have the lows at about 4, high about 4, and the mids I'm boosting to about 6 or 7. I'm gonna leave everything else on. And I'm actually also, I might add on, I have a Danelectro Cash Cow distortion. It's like a distortion pedal, but again, I just use it for a little bit of overdrive. Probably gonna get a better one at some point, but again, that was a gift too, so it works. But just because I wanna then try and add a little bit more of that sound to this while playing almost like a Schofield-y kind of sound. Not Schofield, but I'll try so maybe you can hear it. And I'm just using my iPhone mic. I have another mic. I was trying to mic it up. It actually doesn't sound that good. I don't know how to do that, so I'm not an engineer. So when I put it up against the amp, it kind of sounds really boxy and weird. So I'm just using my iPhone mic because you can capture more of the sound of the room, which does help. So we'll see how this sounds. Hopefully there you heard some of, well, what I think I'm trying to do with trying to get yeah, that nice balance of clean, like really clean, like the kind of darker, softer, more boxy sound that I hear with people like, you know, Peter Bernstein, or not that he's boxy, but just that like traditional sound, or like Pat Martino, you know, when he rolls back the tone, that kind of thing, and then, or Jim Hall, and then versus like sort of that a little bit more organic, chewy sort of sound when you're going for like a Schofield or something like that. It does, I think, it sounds pretty cool when you start mixing in those American Fender sounds from that American pedal with a little overdrive. I would love to have a Fender amp, you know, and actually tube amp and be able to do both, but this is what I have for now. So I think this works, and maybe at some point I'll invest in better pedals, but yeah, this is kind of cool. I'd also like to do a comparative video. I have this, I'll just show you guys, because I know this is a Heritage Forum, but this is definitely not a Heritage, but this is a pretty cool guitar that a friend gave me a while ago. It's a PV87, what is this thing, a Nitro 2? It's like when they were all made in America back in that. It's definitely a heavy metal hair guitar, I guess. I used to have Floyd Rose on it and everything, but I had that taken off and just put the stop tail on. I guess it's like a Fender bridge, but it almost operates like it's just up against the body, and they took all that other stuff off down here. And these pickups are like PV American pickups from back in the day, and they actually sound really good. But you can see this humbucker's not up against the neck, so it's like kind of in the middle, and it sort of boosts the mids, I guess, but it has a very thick, nice sound, and it plays incredible. This neck is really nice, but very different sound than that, and they play very differently. Both amazing, you know. That has a very unique feel to it. And just so you know, I don't know, for anyone who's not played a 530, because I used to have a 535, which is a great guitar too, but of course that center block. This thing though, because it's fully hollow, is so resonant. Like, you know, you could tap on the neck. Maybe you can't hear that, I don't know, but like the whole body just resonates. It's just very, even without plugged in. It's just an amazing instrument, and I love it because you can feel it all through your body. You can just feel it resonating as you play it. You know, this solid body, it's like a solid body, but it does actually have a nicer tone to it, even acoustically. You know, I know that electrics, you know, you should play it first acoustic before you plug it in, you know, it's going to resonate more. So for being, you know, a Strat style guitar, like this would be a super Strat, it does resonate pretty nice even on its own. Very easy to play. And I would love to do a comparative video of these pickups versus those. But anyway, hope you all have a great day.